What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dale and I make videos based on fitness and health. So if you are interested in any of those things, please consider subscribing below. So in today's video, we're going to be going over one piece of advice that you kind of need to hear if you track your calories. This is going to help you with your sanity in terms of calorie tracking because it can get crazy. There's a lot of stuff on the internet about macros, about how many calories you should eat, how much of a deficit you should be in, keeping track of calories. If you look on MyFitnessPal, which is an app that a lot of people use, I highly recommend it. If you typed in strawberries, there would be a bunch of different strawberries and it's just crazy. So there's something that you need to hear that I wish I heard years ago that is going to help you with your sanity in going through all of that. So the advice is going to be very simple. It is just going to be that you are constantly inaccurate. You have no idea how many calories you are eating every single day. And I understand that you track your calories. I do the same thing, but you need to understand that to be 100% accurate with calorie tracking is impossible. You cannot do it, and I'm going to explain that to you in this video. You have no idea how many calories you are eating every single day. Now, the good news is you are very comfortable already with being inaccurate in fitness and health, especially if you go to the gym and especially if you weigh yourself every day. So I am going to be showing you how to port that over into the kitchen when it comes to calories and allow yourself to accept the fact that you're just not going to be 100% accurate. It's going to help you long term with your sanity, I promise. I used to be the guy that would cut fruit in half, would put little pieces of chicken back in the fridge just because it wasn't exactly accurate. And if I had known this information beforehand, I would never ever have done that because it is way overkill. So let's go to the kitchen and let me show you exactly what I mean about how it is impossible to be 100% accurate in tracking your calories. All right, so now we're in the kitchen. I'm gonna show you why it's impossible to be 100% exact with your calories. So there are three main ways that people track their calories and their portion sizes. The first one being old techniques like just a handful of nuts or meat the size of your fist. I don't think I need to explain why that's gonna be inaccurate. Obviously, everyone has different size hands. So if I were to have a handful of nuts and LeBron James were to have a handful of nuts, pause, my portion would be significantly smaller than his. So obviously that's not gonna work in terms of accuracy. The second way that people do it is they use cups. So very common to do with like rice or other grains of some sort like that. So you just have a cup. Well, a cup is not gonna be the most accurate version either because all cups may be different sizes, very small changes obviously, but still different. You may be able to pack more things into a cup than you could if you didn't really try to pack it in. So stuff like that is gonna be why weighing your stuff is the most accurate version. You may be saying, Dale, I already know that. I already weigh my stuff. My calories are accurate. I'm telling you. I'm gonna show you why they're not. So, you got your scale here. I am going to zero it out with this, and I'm going to use these flex chips to explain why it is not 100% accurate. Now, these flex chips, if you've never had them before, they're fantastic. Barbecue flavor is my favorite, and they are really, really good for chips. So look them up if you haven't had them. So we're gonna weigh a serving, which is 28 grams. So these chips have like dust on them. So you can see right there, maybe, if it focuses, yeah. So see, I got some like dust on my hands. Now there may be more or less dust, whatever the stuff, the barbecue flavor, on these chips than say another 28 gram portion. So that's going to affect the calories, right? If I did something like lick my fingers after, you ever see that, I think it's a Doritos commercial or a Cheetos commercial or something, I don't know, where they lick their fingers after. If you did that, you'd be consuming more calories than if you just washed your hands and didn't consume it. I know this is being very pedantic and splitting hairs, and that's the point that I'm trying to make with this video. It is not going to be 100% accurate. So that's just with something like this. You could do it with like fruits, chicken. I've done it with chicken in the past where I went and I would take out like little pieces of chicken because I was only trying to eat 8 ounces of chicken and not 8.02 ounces, so I would cut little pieces off to get it exact. This is absolutely ridiculous and not sustainable. So I'm just trying to show you here that just because there's 28 grams doesn't mean there is 90 calories in this serving. There may be 91, 92, 89, whatever. You get the point. It's splitting hairs, but I'm just trying to explain that you're not going to be 100% accurate. All right, now for liquids, like this. So this is water I was drinking before. I'm going to show you why it's not going to be completely accurate. Water doesn't have any calories, but say it was like soda or something. So you measured out your cup or whatever, say there's 100 calories in it. So you drink your soda, and you come back. You can see in the glass, I don't know if you could see it, but there's a little bit left. Okay? Can you see that in there? All right, so there's a very little bit left. Those calories were not consumed. So even though you tracked that you drank 100 calories, you maybe only drank 98 calories. So just another way that this is not that accurate. So just showing that you're not going to be 100% accurate with liquids or foods. It doesn't matter. You're still going to be off a little bit. Okay, now that we talked about food and calories being inaccurate, let me tell you why you are already comfortable with being inaccurate and you may not even know it yet. So when you go to the gym, right, and you're lifting weights, we are all accustomed to thinking that the bar is 45 pounds. The plate is however many pounds it says on the side, whether it is 45, 25, 10, 5, 2.5. That is what we write down in our books when we track our weight and progression. The dumbbells weigh whatever the dumbbells say that they weigh. We are very comfortable and confident in those numbers. Now, they may not be exact, and that is the important thing to note. Say dumbbells, for example, if something got chipped on it, it's going to affect its weight in grams or whatever. It's going to drop the weight a little bit. It's not going to be like 5 pounds off. The odds of that happening are not very high, but it could be 1 or 2 pounds lighter than it says, a pound or so heavier than it says. Wear and tear over time is going to decrease the weight for sure, so it's probably more likely going to be lighter, but we're comfortable with saying that a 45-pound dumbbell weighs 45 pounds. We don't necessarily go to the gym, grab the dumbbell, walk it over to the scale, put it on, make sure that it weighs what it says. We're comfortable with just assuming that it is accurate, and it's not. So it's the same with foods, right? So we take one slice of bread and assume it's 70 calories because that's what it says. And when you weigh it out, you weigh it and find out that it's like 68 calories, but we like to freak out about it in the kitchen. We don't freak out about it in the gym. Like I said, I recommend weighing the food. That's going to be your best, most accurate way of doing it. And keep that mindset when you're weighing the food that it's okay if you're 0.03 ounces over on your chicken or you're 3 or 4 grams higher on your blueberries or strawberries or whatever. It's not that big of a deal. You are already doing this in the gym. If you are a power lifter or a competitive weightlifter, then you know that there are calibrated plates that they use at meets and competitions. These plates are weighed and are accurate. So it may weigh something different, squatting 315 in a commercial gym, and then you go to a powerlifting meet and squat 315. It may feel a little different. This is why. It is not that big of a deal for the average person that is just lifting for their health benefit opposed to competitively. This is not a big deal. It's just a metric of tracking that we use. So like I said before, I just mentioned this weight room example to show you that you already subconsciously understand the concept of being inaccurate, right? You're already inaccurate and okay with it in the weight room. I just wish it was more comfortable in the kitchen so you don't have to do the extra stuff of like cutting little pieces of chicken off, or taking one almond out, cracking it, and putting pieces of it in so it weighs exactly right. That's ridiculous and overkill. And the last part of this video that we are going to get into is weighing yourself. So I recommend to every client to weigh themselves in the morning around the same time on an empty stomach. Notice I said around the same time. This is because it's ridiculous to be sitting there staring at the clock, 7:59, 59, 8 o'clock. Okay, I'm jumping on the scale right now, 8 o'clock exactly, to make it perfectly exact. This is another way, if you already weigh yourself, that you're aware that it's not a big deal if it's not 100% exact. It's not sustainable to be 100% exact, and there's so many factors that go into what you weigh every single day, aside from body fat, that make it So weighing yourself every day is not a big deal. As long as you're weighing yourself on the same scale, roughly the same amount of time, and with roughly the same amount of food intake, which the only way that you can really be close to accurate on that is an empty stomach. And that is going to get you the most accurate results, but even then it may not be the same. Your doctor's scale may be different than your $20 Walmart scale. It doesn't matter what it is. So if you weigh yourself at home and you're 200 pounds, and then you go to the doctor's and you're 203 pounds, well, it's not the end of the world. If you were 250 pounds before that and you've been dieting for months and months and months and lost the weight, you're still able to track the progress even if the scale isn't the most accurate. As long as you're using the same exact one and being consistent with the scale that you're using, you can track the progress of weight loss or weight gain depending on which direction you're trying to go. So look, I made this video for people who like to be perfect and like to maximize their potential with anything that they do. And I'm telling you because I am that type of person, and had I known this beforehand, my diets would have been a lot easier to stick to and a lot less stressful if I had just relaxed about a couple grams or a couple tenths of an ounce. It's not a big deal. You're still going to be able to see the results as long as you're consistent with the metrics that you're using and how you're tracking your progress. As long as you're monitoring it consistently, you will see results over time. Do not stress about 5 grams. It is not a big deal. So I really appreciate you guys checking out the video. If you liked it or learned anything that is going to be helpful for you in your life, please consider liking and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.